Well, you must be delighted. Another 3 points tonight.
Yes, was going to be a big game for us tonight after the two away 1-0 wins recently, and then now we're going into that little spell before tonight, 4 home games out of 5. First time we've had the own situation where we've got the opportunity ourselves, without having to rely on other results above us tonight, to be able to get in the top 5 in one of them playoff spots. And coming into tonight's game, winning 9 and drawing 1 out of the last 10 has been a run which has been unbelievable. And like I say, we changed 1 or 2 things around, forced into that really, in respect of what I would say is that players were late here for the night. I understand that there's certain times that they get held up in traffic, but the time period, as far as I was concerned, was not acceptable for us or the team. So basically we made changes, and we go from there really. And we found ourselves 1-0 up at half time. I thought we created a few chances beforehand, never took them, and you think it's going to be one of them, but then Moses scored 1-0 at half time. So we knew it was going to be a hard second half, and we thought that we could go on and win the game. Very confident about that, but when they equalised, it was a blow, there's no doubt about that. And when you haven't conceded many goals over a period of time, and you concede a goal completely against a run of play when you could have probably been 3 or 4 to the good on another day, there was certainly going to be another big question asked. But I think what they've been answering, and them questions over the last 6-7 weeks, showed again that we're not going to get beat. We've got to win, and we believe that. And it couldn't have happened really to a player who's been performing game in, game out on a consistent basis of the high standard, and leads by example. Mark Ricketts, just before the goal, basically he made a great tackle at the other end, and all of a sudden 2 minutes later he's crashed one in the bottom corner. So and went on, and another day he could have turned around and won it again, as I say, more comfortable. But being fair to Hampton and Richmond, they worked very hard, and there was always going to be 1 or 2 nervous moments at the end. But to win the game 2-1 and win, as I say, 10 wins out of 11 and a draw, 31 out of 33. Can't turn around and say anything, but we want some more of it, and we've got to keep going.
As you say, a real captain's performance, I thought, tonight from Mark Ricketts. Started off at centre-back, then went into midfield, and then scored a fantastic goal. I must be honest with you, before he hit it, I shouted out, "Not from there!" And the next minute, it was in the net. He got a tremendous swerve on it, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a great strike, and I think we were all surprised, even probably more Mark Ricketts than probably anybody where it landed up. But, no thoroughly deserved, and I say just under 1100 here tonight, and hopefully that can push up to 15 Saturday. When you keep going where we've been going, and where you've got to where we've got to through hard work and support together, I always keep saying it, and the support's play a major part of this football club, and they've got to turn around and be that extra man on the terraces now between now and the end of the season to push us on into that playoff area to stay. Because we've got there now, it ain't a case of we're there now and we've achieved something. We've got to make sure we've got some 9 hard games to go. So we've got to make sure that we get a certain amount of wins and make sure that we stay in that top 5 for the playoffs at the end.
I'm sure you and Steve are perfectionists, and if so, I presume you were a little bit disappointed with the goal, because we lost the ball in the middle of the park and then had 1 or 2 opportunities to clear it, and as it was a bit of a soft goal.
Yeah,
really.
It was a cheap goal. It was a cheap goal, but being fair, we've got a couple of cheap goals lately. So at the end of the day, it happens. But we've over 11 games now conceded 2 goals, and we keep rolling on, and we've got to turn around and make sure we're ready for Saturday's game now against Bromley.
And are you confident that the team's nerve will hold now that we've actually got into one of those playoff spots? Obviously, we've got to try and stay there now, whereas before, obviously, we were chasing a playoff spot.
Yeah, I think, as I say, the momentum is really with us to keep winning, and the good thing what we've got now, we're going into really 1 game a week, which we've done a great deal of hard work and had a lot of pressure on us mentally and physically over a period of time to keep getting results. We've kept getting them results. Now to be able to hopefully get a good result on Saturday and go into 1 game a week, apart from 1 week between now and the end of the season, I think that's going to make us freshen up a little bit, and we can control a little bit more in respect to training sessions and sorting our squad out for each game.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned the fitness, because I thought perhaps over the last two games we've looked a little weary, whereas in fact tonight we seem much fresher.
Yeah, like, you know, as I say, you can turn around and look at it all the time and what way you look at it, but, you know, all I would turn around and say is that, you know, there were some players out there tonight who had that extra kick, and as we say, a massive 3 points, but, you know, we've got to look forward to the Bromley game now and get, you know, the team sorted out for the weekend and hopefully go and get another result.
Lovely, thanks very much, Garry.
Cheers.